Hello Libra! Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. It is a Hay House item. I'm sure they have a website somewhere, and she has a bunch of other cards, so I actually love her other deck too that I have. So if you are interested or a card enthusiast, you might want to check her out. Supportive Oracle Cards, Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. There is a website for this one, rockpoolpublishing.com.au. So if you want to find that information, go ahead and do that. What's going on here in the environment? Like, when I was shuffling, I had 3 tarot cards fall out. They're face down, so I didn't pick them up. I just left them there. Now I was just picking this one up, and 3 more cards of the Oracle card fell out right in the environment, which sometimes I move them, but I feel like I shouldn't be moving them. Oh, this deck has the pink moon. I like the pink moon. I think it's gorgeous. I think this is a pretty deck. Something is clearly ending. You got the World card and the Death card coming forward, so fair warning. Something is clearly ending here. And there's a lot of face down, which I feel like they're saying either there's secrets or just pieces of this puzzle you're not going to see until they're actually on the board. It's kind of like working on a puzzle and thinking it's a lighthouse, and then you find out it's like, some type of mechanical clock. When they get that piece in place, like, oh, this is a clock? I thought it was going to be like a lighthouse scene or something. That's kind of what I feel is going on. Like, oh, I didn't think that's where we were going with this. Because starting off, you have blooming. When I feel blooming, ironically, I do think you have an idea of where you're going. You have like some type of focus, direction, like, I'm going to do this with this. This is how I'm going to handle this. So you do have plans for this situation. Yeah, this might be one of those situations where it's difficult anyway. So even though I do think something's ending here, maybe it may be, I don't think it's going to bother you. It's kind of like, I have plans, I have focus, I know what I'm going to do with this, but if the situation kind of goes away, it might not upset you. I don't know, let's get a little farther, of course, because you got blooming, like you're coming into it like, I have plans, I know what I'm going to do. And you're reaching out to try to make those happen with wisdom. You're taking those plans. The blooming is like, I know what I'm going to do. I know where I'm going to take this. I just got to get it to grow some more before it opens up. And you're starting to take that action. You're like, all right, I know I want a part of this. I want that type of fertilizer. I need this person to help me with that. If I can have this person help me with this. And you're starting to pull together. You're lining up the situation, ready to get it going. And you've got the Page of Cups. Page of Emotions or Cups, water. It's something you're feeling good about. It's not the be-all, end-all, though. It's not like the most important thing in your life. How do I explain this? It's like, it's kind of like I have some plans for the weekend. I'm going to go shopping here with so-and-so, and then I'm going to see so-and-so for lunch in a normal world. I don't know about nowadays, but in a normal world, when things are normal. And it's kind of like, I like the idea of shopping. I like the idea of the brunch. But it's not like this is like defining my whole life. It's like I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like a good idea. I will enjoy it, but it's like, if it gets canceled, I'm not going to be like crying in my soup about it. You know what I mean? So you're pushing this forward. What's happening here? 3 face down cards. I don't know why I have like a little bit of anxiety flipping these over. Fruition, I want to say anxiety. Fruition, realization. I want to say, I'm getting anxiety. I keep feeling anxiety. Like, why am I bothered by this? The plans are starting. People are helping you carry out these plans. I'm getting nourishment, fruition, realization. I think that realization is like where I'm getting the anxiety, because they're like, I don't think they're saying anything at first. But they're like, oh, you want to go there with that? Oh. And it's almost kind of like somebody is like, oh, I double booked, like, I can't do that with you, Libra. It's like, ooh, and you just said you're looking forward to it. Oops. I mean, it's kind of like, I'm going out of town Friday night, and they don't know it yet. Like, you don't know that they're going out of town Friday night. and they're taking that other person with them you were going to go to brunch with, and they're like, uh-oh, oops, I double booked. And apparently, and they know, not only are the plans that you planned with them not going to happen, these other person's plans aren't going to happen either because of what they know. But I feel like they're kind of like, oops, I don't know what we need to do about this. I have to talk to the other person and let them know. Oops. Because I feel like something like that. Like they just didn't tell you, like they overbooked. It feels like that. The nourishment between the two is like, I don't think this is a bad energy. Is it more of a snafu? It might be more of a snafu. I don't know. But like something has to give here. Focus with the death card is like, it's kind of like being double booked. It's either to go out of town for the weekend or stay in town and do these things. You can't do both. It's kind of like if you go out of town, if this person goes out of town, it's like a 3-hour trip away. So they're not going to come back just to do a little shopping and then go back. Like that's a 6-hour round trip. It's not going to happen. So it's either one or the other. It's like they have to give up one thing. It's on their side. The death card is on their side. And they have to decide the focus. They have to figure it out. At first, they're not telling you. I feel like they're not telling you, which I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I guess they have to decide what they're going to do with it, I guess, first. So, in the void, this is the third face-down card. They're kind of stuck. They feel kind of stuck. And at first, see, this is what bothers me. I almost feel like they're like putting it to the back burner. And how long is this going to stay on the back burner? Because the sooner they tell you, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to stay in town and go with you, or are they not? And kind of leave you hang? Are you just supposed to show up and wonder what happened to them? Like, what are they going to do? They need to choose. They need to do something about this. And like, I'm getting like it seems very coded to me. I'm getting the lack of action here, and the lack of communication too. Like literally the void. All right, here's the last 3 cards that were face down. Knight of Voices, 8 of Voices. Says Knight of Swords, 8 of Swords. Communication has to happen here, but somebody's feeling trapped. And I think they tell you what's going on. Somebody tells you, like, but I feel like they waited till like almost the last minute, kind of like either the day before they're going out of town or the day they're going out of town. I feel like they're like, it's almost like they forgot about it again or something, or they just put it to the side too long. And it's kind of like, I feel like this is how you're looking at it though, kind of like it's not that big a deal. You could have just told me. I feel like that's how you're looking at it. Like it's literally not that big a deal. You've gone through this yourself before. You've done it once in a while. We all do it. Like it's a human thing. Like telling somebody at the last moment, that's, unless, sometimes if you didn't have to tell somebody at the last moment, that's kind of rude. If you just, that's when it pops in your brain, then that's when it pops in your brain. But I feel like they feel trapped. They feel upset about this. They're bothered by it. I don't see you having a problem with it. I feel you're just kind of like, that's okay. I feel like you're kind of like, it's fine. It's like, it's fine. Like, I don't feel like you're upset. I literally, with the Sun card and the release, you might have had other things you needed to do anyway. And it's kind of like, that's okay, because if I don't have any plans that morning or afternoon, like if I'm not going to be shopping with that person or going to brunch with the other because they're both going out of town, there's something else actually I do need to do, and I can put that in that spot. That could actually help me out. So I can move this around. It's so great. You're like, it's okay. It worked to my advantage. I feel like literally that's how it is on your side. Like, it's okay. It worked to my advantage. I'm all right. They seem to constantly try to make it up to you. It's weird because they keep trying to make it up to you, but it's almost also like they're not hearing you. Kind of like they're sure you're going to be upset about this or something. And I don't think you are. I really don't think you are. You're kind of like, no, it worked to my advantage. I can make it work. They're like, nope, these things happen. You seem to be more realistic. Kind of like you don't think this person did it against you. It just happens. And I feel like you're looking at it like, it just happens. It's okay. You're like, it's fine. And I feel like you'd even say to this person, yeah, if I had plans going out of town and it was a snafu, like stay in town and do these two things or go out of town and enjoy the whole weekend, I would apologize too, but I would also make the same choice. You're kind of like, no, it's fine. You're fine. I really feel like you're fine. And I'm getting this self-love, and the magician coming in here. Like, I almost feel like you might have to talk to this person for a minute just to kind of like relax them. Like, listen, it's all right. We all have pulses. We all make mistakes. We all do things. And I feel like you might have to reiterate to this person, like, I don't think you did this in a mean way to me. I don't think there's anything like that. I don't feel bad about it. I understand. I feel like you're very much like that. Like, I understand. It's okay. We can just relax. I love the pink moon. In this deck, there's a pink moon. I love it. I think this is the greatest thing. I love it. Because I feel like things are going your way. There is an air of mystery, but this is like, when I feel this pink moon, it's kind of like a fun, like, there's a lot of good things that could come forward here. And like, you know, it's almost like this person's like, oh my God, I'll do something with you after. Like, I'm really sorry, we can do this. Like, let's plan something together for this time. And you're like, all right. And they're like, and I won't make this mistake again. And you're like, I feel like you keep having to calm them down. Like, it's all right. Like, people make mistakes. It's fine. And I feel like you have to keep breaking that energy down. Like, it's okay. We're okay. The ball is in your court. What do you want from this? And I'm not really worried about this at all, because Libra, you're all about the fairness. That's just stereotypical Libra energy. It's kind of like, you don't take more than you're worth, you don't give more than is deserved. It's what's fair. You stay in the middle. We got to keep things fair. It's about being fair. And usually, like, the imbalance Libra energy does not take more than they deserve. They also don't give more than is warranted. For some reason, I got to keep putting that, because it's in your court. Whatever you think is right here. See, I've said that. Now I know why we're saying that. Shoot a little high. Like, it's one of those things where, I know this is going to sound weird. We're going to use a money analogy. If you think something's worth $100, put the value at $150, because it's going to get negotiated down closer to $100 anyway. So if you set the value at $100, you're going to end up with like $70 instead of $100. You follow me? Especially if you set the value a little high, you always have the option later to knock it down a little more for whatever reason you see fit. Just keep that in mind. So, like, shoot a little, whatever you want from this situation. I think that's a big piece. I really think that's a big piece for this. Whatever you think is fair, shoot high, because you will have negotiation ability after. Kind of like, okay, we're about to do it, or we're going to do it, we're settling on the last figure. If you want to pull it down a little more, because you think that's right, it's subjective to you, you have the power to do that. If you start at where you think is fair, they're going to push you down. That's what I'm getting. So whatever you think it is, whatever you think you should have, whatever you think is fair is, shoot high. Really do that. Even though power is in your favor, they're like saying, if you use it this way, you shoot high to begin with, you aim high to begin with, you will get what you think is correct. If you go with, well, this is what's fair, I'm just going to go in with what I think is fair, it seems to end up a little bit lower. I don't know what to say about that. It just does. And I think probably a lot of Libras have already learned that lesson, kind of like, if I ask for a little extra, I then have negotiation ability to move it where I need it to be. But if it ends up a little low to begin with, it's harder to bring it up to that level. I think you know that. I have a feeling for the people that's going to hit with, you're like, yeah, maybe you just needed the reminder for that to shoot high with this one. Because the Four of Pentacles is like, I feel like the energy you're dealing with is going to be restricted. There's some version of restriction here with the Four of Pentacles. But there's a lot of beauty with this card, you'll also notice. But like the body gesture, the body language, I would say, is very kind of like what I need, what's going on for me. There's a lot of beauty here, but like, again, if you shoot high, I feel like this could work out. There's also the world and the star coming in here. Whoever this person is, and I know this is a general read, but I'm going to say this. I feel like pattern is your pal. Why do we have to rhyme it? Pattern is your friend. Pattern is your companion here. you want to, if there's something you want to do with this person or something you want, if you can set up a pattern, monthly, weekly, whatever you need to do, maybe once a season, whatever, maybe once a year, whatever it is, if you set up the pattern, not only do you get the success that you want here, you'll keep it and it'll keep repeating and you won't have to keep negotiating as much. It'll just kind of stay where you want it to stay. So in other words, if you're going to do like a weekend trip, maybe you want to do it like, you know, bi-yearly. Bi-yearly, is that a thing? I'm sure it's a thing. So like, you know, maybe in summer, winter, or whatever, just always kind of like, you know, the second month of the season we'll get together and when you're together, you'll just like, what date is good for us next, and we'll put it in our phones and make sure we keep it there. If you do that, I just feel like these snafus won't happen. And I also feel like whatever you negotiated, you don't have to keep fighting for it. It just kind of stays there. It's good. I just feel like this is really beneficial for Libra. Kind of like, you know, one less thing I have to fight for. Something that just kind of stays on the shelf where I need it to stay. And I can just take it off and use it when I need to and put it back and dust it off when I need to. I don't have to keep like negotiating what spot it's going to fit into. Where this shelf, or do I have to put it over there, or where I don't have to keep negotiating what spot it fits into. It just is always where it needs to be, and it's far enough out to where we don't have to worry about it. I take it off the shelf, I use it, I dust it off, and put it back. It's just like it's easier. Especially the world with the star, like you can make this situation a lot easier for you. And that's, I feel like, what they're saying. You have the power to do this. Power on your side also says doesn't happen without you creating it. So it's up to you. This is one of those moments where, you know, it can be good now, but you can make that repetitious. Might as well, right? Especially if it's something you plan on doing anyway, over and over again. I think that makes sense. All right, we're going to let that go? All right. I'm going to shut that down there. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. I've also added tip information at the bottom. Some people have inquired about that, so I've added it there. If you'd like to, thank you. I appreciate it. If you don't, still good. Thank you for watching the video. Either way, have a good day.